Gattuso's first match, I haven't felt this excited for an Italy game in like since probably I was probably had a little bit of excitement during the Euros, maybe for the first game of the Euros or the second. I don't know. I kind of knew when it came to versing Spain, when we ended up versing Switzerland, I knew that Switzerland was gonna win. Like it didn't. Spalletti's Italy never made me feel excited. I don't know if Spalletti was too strict because it did seem like the players didn't really have any freedom. And in their last match against Moldova, I'm pretty sure we already knew Spalletti was leaving at that point. That was my favorite Italy match of the last 2, 3 years. Because the players, I know it was against Moldova, but I've seen Italy versus smaller teams and play like they were the lesser team, like they were the squad with less history, like they were the squad that was underdog. It was confusing. Under Spalletti, the players looked like there was no freedom. They weren't able to play freely, do what they wanted to do, take risks. I feel like maybe perhaps he was too strict. Maybe he just didn't get along with them. But too many different philosophies on one squad, and he struggled at man managing them. I'm not sure. No shade to Spalletti. He did a thing with Napoli. He left Italy. That's in the past. You can't progress if your head stays in the past. On to the next. Gattuso, I'm very excited. I feel like I haven't seen, of course, I haven't seen every single game he's coached. I've seen his Milan, not Milan under 19, just his Milan. I've seen his Napoli. I didn't see his Marseille, but he averaged about 1.8 points per game at Marseille, which is like okay, for Marseille, you're not gonna be averaging 2 plus probably. And then when he was just in Croatia, actually, that is what I've seen recently. I've seen how he built up with that team, like how he played in possession, and I've seen how he orchestrated his press. So obviously, it's going to be a little different from translating in the Croatian league into the Italian national team or into international football at all, of course. But I believe he's had about 2 months now without any games. So just him um, maybe focusing on his ideas, seeing how the players are playing in the Club World Cup, in the league, and whatnot. Obviously, the camp hasn't been together the whole 2 months, so he hasn't had a lot of time. I understand, but one thing I think about Gattuso, he is gonna instill a sense of energy and discipline into this team that I haven't seen in my lifetime, because I was too young to understand the 2006 World Cup. 2010 grouped. 2014 grouped. 2018 didn't qualify. 2016 Euros. I think we made the quarters, but it was a shambolic performance. The 2012 Euros, I think Italy was okay, but it was still like I've never seen like a proper squad. And even though we won the Euro Championship in 2021, it wasn't like I don't know, it wasn't pretty really. Donnarumma balled, Chiesa balled, and Chiesa should have been starting after like game 1 or 2, but we won the Euro, so it doesn't even matter. Mancini had these guys playing like like they would die for the badge, but they were also led by Chiellini, by Bonucci. Once those guys walked, it was different. Like who's the big dog on the squad now? There's no Chiellini, there's no Bonucci. It's very different, and no shade towards guys like Tonali, like Barella. I think they're ballers, and I actually do like them. I like Bastoni, I like Calafiori, I like Donnarumma. But we're a young squad now, right? We don't have a Chiellini like a rightful captain that can bark at anyone, like Gattuso, like how Maldini was with Gattuso. We don't have something like that, someone to keep everybody in check. But I think Gattuso as a manager now, that's going to be good for us. And what I've seen from Gattuso's game that's a little different from Spalletti's is, well, maybe not, because Spalletti played a 4-3-3 at Napoli, but for some reason he wouldn't bring it to the national team. I'm thinking that Gattuso is gonna bring it to the national team. I think he's more how do I word it? He's gonna stick to his views. He's gonna bring the four back formation to the national team. I do have the lineup on screen here that I think he's gonna play with. And obviously in build up nowadays the formation never really stays like this. But I'm hoping and very excited to see a four back Italy because I do think with Spalletti, if he brought a 4-3-3 formation or some type of variation of that, it could have been a different national team. That's what I was always hoping for every time Italy was playing under Spalletti. But then it always ended up being, the 3-4-1-2. and we never really had control of the ball. We never really looked forward. We never looked combined in the half spaces. So I'm hoping under Gattuso, obviously this doesn't have to be the exact lineup. This is probably what I would start with and see what's flowing. It's a shame that Keza wasn't called up. I'm not happy about his situation at Liverpool. I don't understand it, but I'm not behind the scenes, so I can't comment too much on that. No right-footed center back. Um, I think the level of Bastoni and Calafiori and even Buongiorno is too high compared to the likes of Gatti, compared to I can't even name you another right footer right now. Because Acerbi, I don't think is available. He's too old. Yeah, he withdrew himself, I believe. But I think the level of Bastoni, of Calafiori, of Buongiorno is too high for the likes of Gatti. So I'm going with two left-footed center backs. Obviously, I think Gattuso will do the same, and if it's causing trouble, they'll change something up. I do like Scalvini, but after he came back from the ACL, I don't think, not necessarily he's not the same player. I don't think he's caught up to the level of these guys, and I'm not even sure how much he's even playing. And he's not playing in a four back at the same time, right? So I just want to test out this. I hope Gattuso is in a similar view as me. Di Marco, I feel like not really any competition on the left there. Udoji's okay, but number one, he can't cross the way DeMarco can cross. And I think, especially if Bastoni's on the and like this, they play together at the club level. The chemistry is already there, and he has more reps with Bastoni, with Tonali, with Gigio. So DeMarco, Bastoni, Calafiori, I think understandable. I'm not even sure if Buongiorno is healthy. If he's healthy, he could slot in here too. But I do think Calafiori would probably be the most, how do I, comfortable on this side as a left footer compared to Bastoni, compared to Buongiorno. Di Lorenzo seems to be, he's always there. I think Cambiaso is a better football player than Di Lorenzo, but I think for what I'm going to show tactics wise here, Di Lorenzo is a better fit. Also, Di Lorenzo held down the right center back role when in a 3-4-2-1 or 3-4-1-2, sorry. So I think for tactical flexibility, Di Lorenzo is the better fit in this situation as DeMarco will consistently bomb forward. Di Lorenzo can bomb forward, will eventually get forward, will whip in a nice cross. Also, I prefer a right-footed right fullback compared to Cambiaso being left-footed. So that's how I would line up the back four. And in possession, I would actually bring something kind of like this. That's how I would start. I'm gonna show you the rest soon. So Orsolini maintaining width, whatever. Tonali, Barella, I think they're both dogs. They're both great at pretty much everything. They both can score. They both can pass. They both can win the ball. They both can run for 90 minutes. They both can um fight off an aggressive player, an aggressive pressure. They're strong, resilient, perfect, playing Gattuso system in my opinion. Tonali is one of my favorite players in the world, so that'd be cool for me. I think Raspadori is our best bet at the number 10. We don't really have, Maldini, I'm not really a fan of. I'm not a fan of, for example, Ken playing as a number 10. If you play with two strikers, it's different. But if you're trying to line up with Ken or Retegi behind one another, it makes no sense to me. They're not really good with the ball at their feet. They're not technical. They're not going to combine in the half spaces, 1-2s, and roll off each other. They're both physical, like number nines that need the ball set for them and they just finish the ball. So I think Raspadori he's small, he's quick, he's creative, and he's technical. So he's good for the number 10. Um, I'm not sure about in terms of controlling the game with only two midfielders because he's technically not a midfielder. But I do think in this system, having a number 10 is important. And I do like watching number 10s because I'm a number 10 myself. So I'm going to put Raspadori in here. Zaccagni and Orsolini, I think they're actually both good players. I like the way that they are so direct. They get the ball, Zaccagni being right-footed on the left wing and Orsolini being left-footed on the right wing, and they look to cut in and just cause damage. It's not a goal every time, it's not an assist every time, but they're not afraid to run at their man. That's the type of wingers that we need in football. I'm not a fan at all of risk aversive wingers. If you want to be risk aversive, go play center defensive midfield. Go play somewhere in a controlling position. Your job as a winger is not to control, it's to it's to break control, break free, damage the other team. Don't let the other team control you because you being risk aversive over a 90-minute period, the other team's fullback will feel like he's more in control, feel calmer. Then, after 60 minutes, you haven't attacked him yet. You go to attack him without certainty because you've wasted 60 minutes. He has 60 minutes of certainty. So that battle is going to be a whole lot harder. But I feel like Zaccagni and Orsolini, players like Chiesa as well from before, will get the ball minute one, minute three, early on in the game, and they want to attack head on right away. One on one, drive at them, cut in, or take it down the line. Doesn't matter. They're looking to cause havoc. Those are the type of wingers I want to see on my national team. So Sakani looking to invert naturally makes perfect opportunity for DeMarco to bomb forward. That's exactly what everybody wants as an Italian fan. That is literally blueprint for success. DeMarco down the left, one of the best crossers in the world in my opinion. Zakani cutting inside. If they get 2-on-1 against the right fullback or whatever formation Estonia is gonna play, it's gonna be very, very problematic for Estonia. Orsolini maintaining width just because I'm choosing Di Lorenzo to mainly stay back as that third center back. But the thing is, we all know how football works. All it takes is one switch of play and Di Lorenzo is bombing forward. So this is just the on paper. There's going to be many, many opportunities in the game where we're looking like this, or, because I do have full faith in Barella, in um Tonali. There's going to be times where we're looking like this. There's going to be times where we're looking like this. And I'm completely okay with that because I have faith in Barella to hold that down for, I don't know, 2, 3 minutes if he has to. Because as Estonia gets the ball, Di Lorenzo and DeMarco are both players that will absolutely bomb all the way back. Tonali will bomb back. Raspadori will bomb back. I could even see Retegui balling back because what it means when you put on that blue jersey is not the same as putting on any other shirt. I'm not trying to disrespect any other countries, but what comes with playing for the Italian national team, Gattuso will tell you, these players will tell you, it's not the same as every other team. If you aren't willing to die for this badge, they will not put you on the roster, and that's like the type of pride that comes with, representing this country, supporting this country. So it's why I think there will be a situation where the lineup in game in the build up, you could see DeMarco all the way up here, and Di Lorenzo's still somewhere over here because Barella's covering, right? We back. Had some difficulties. I had to just go help my brother with something. As I was saying, I have full trust in these midfielders to be able to maintain a position like this for a few minutes if they have to. Both Barella and Tonali, as I was saying before, they're just very complete players. Like, I feel more than blessed to have midfielders like that representing our squad. There's players like Ricci, like Locatelli, there's so many players. Oh my God. Rovella, Fratesi, all very good footballers, but in their own ways, I feel like Barella and Tonali can do everything. It's the type of midfielder that like you always want one of them in your squad. We have two of them and they're able to do these things at the highest level, which is like to me is just like, God bless. Tonali, I feel like on his day can start and improve so many clubs in world football. I don't know if it's a biased thing. For some reason, I just have a strong uh connection to Tonali. Um, my family's all Juventino, so in the summer that just finished, I guess a few days ago, I was really hoping Tonali made the move to Juve. Didn't go through. He'll come next year probably, I bet. So we'll see. Um, Especially Newcastle lost Isak. I don't know what they're gonna be looking like. I know they made their signings. Blah blah blah. Not talking about Newcastle. I love Tonali. Anyway, Raspadori, we talked about already. Orsolini, Zaccagni, we talked about. Retegui, not a fan of his move to go get, I think it was Qatar or Saudi. The only reason I'm not a fan is because I'm not an Atalanta fan, but I do enjoy watching Atalanta. I do like Gasperini. Lookman, I was enjoying Atalanta ever since, I don't know, 2, 3 years already. I know Retegui wasn't there the whole time, but when he did come in watching Atalanta games, he was, their gun man. It was nice to watch. And he left. I don't even think they signed a replacement. He left out of nowhere. I hope it doesn't negatively affect the national team because Ken, as much as you want him to be good, I feel like Retegui is more dangerous. I don't necessarily think there's many differences in their link up play and stuff like that. I do think Retegui is a more consistent finisher. Ken is probably better at holding off center backs, but the strength again is not that much different. Um, I just hope it doesn't negatively affect Vertegi's game. I hope he doesn't lose the passion. I hope he's only there 1, 2 years collecting whatever bag he's collecting and comes back to Serie A or to Europe at least. I don't even know where he's going to come back to because I don't think he's at the level of a top team in Europe. Like Atalanta, I think was a perfect place for him. You're fighting for Europa League or last Champions League spot in your league. And then whether you're in the Champions League or the Europa League, if you're in the Europa League, Atalanta, you're probably making quarterfinals, semifinals. If you're in the Champions League with this new league format, you might be making round of 16, probably not quarterfinals, but I feel like that was a good spot for Retegui. I just hope his level doesn't drop and his passion and love for the game doesn't drop coming with all these millions. So we'll see, because it almost feels like instead of having to work to go play for Real Madrid, Barcelona to get that money, you can just switch your environment completely. Your level doesn't have to raise, but your income can raise. And I just hope that doesn't negatively affect him, all the more negatively affecting the national team. Other than that, though, I do think for now he is our best bet. I'm not the biggest fan of Lorenzo Luca, but he has a lot of time to develop. We will definitely see where that goes. Camarda, I mean, we don't play youngsters. I don't know how else to say it. I would love, love, love to see Camarda getting 3, 4 minutes at the end of the games within the next year or so. Within the next few years, I would love to see Camarda starting the same way Yamal, starts for Spain, the same way Kobe Mainu started a Euro finals at 18. But for some reason, our national team hasn't evolved at the level of other teams. So we're getting there. I can have faith. I'm still excited for Gattuso match day one. I hope the energy that it starts from minute one. I hope it's instilled already. I hope from minute one, the joy of watching my national team is within me because I've watched way too many games at this point. Like forcing myself to watch this. Huh, it's over. Thank God. Now I can finally go on with my day. Also, Alcaraz and Djokovic are playing pretty much at the same time as Italy. I'm gonna watch Italy, to be honest with you. I'm gonna choose to watch Italy, and I just hope I don't regret it. Nah, I got two monitors. I'm gonna watch both. I'm gonna be real. But I'm gonna focus on Italy. My second monitor is gonna have Carlos and Novak, but I hope I just don't regret focusing on Italy and keeping my audio only focused on Italy. Anyway, that's what I think about Gattuso match day one versus Estonia. I haven't done really much research on Estonia, to be honest with you. Forgive me for that, but I do think Italy is gonna win. I'm pretty confident in that, especially because the way they played against Moldova, like even though that was 2 months ago, even though they might have just been feeling free because Spalletti was let go, I think Gattuso will let them feel free in the sense of attacking football because I do know from watching Gattuso, from seeing him at Milan, from seeing him at Napoli, from seeing him coaching Croatia, attacking football, he doesn't shut it down just because of tactical discipline and just because of defense. He knows that there has to be a good balance and he'll let the players know. So I think we're going to play freely. I think players like Zaccagni, like Orsolini or Politano, if he comes in on the right instead, like Barella will bomb forward at times. Raspadori will try to combine. DeMarco, we know what he's going to do. I think Gattuso will let his players know and make them feel confident in doing that because they all know that each and every one of them will die for each other, which gives them that extra confidence. I can go forward, I can take that risk because Tonali has my back. He's right there. So, yet again, I'm going to predict an Italy win, and I hope it continues that way because we better qualify for this tournament. I'm gonna try to do what I can for the Carlos Novak game too to make a video for that. But anyway, all in all, thanks for listening today. Forza Italia. Enjoy the rest of your day, okay? Ciao.